going to be like a new norm. This is going to be like a new norm where our collections are going to be at the next level. And given that the compensation cess is going to end or ended, each states are responsible for their own collections and the managing the targets. I'm sure most of you have envisaged where the respective states started focusing on the sectors and areas where the non-compliance is. States also started focusing on tightening their audits. I'm sure most of you have received notices for the financial year 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, owing to audits, investigation, or it could be SMT 10. In the last session, we have looked at Rule 88CD, the new rules which got inserted, wherein we started getting the notices by way of DRC 01B 1C, wherein we want to address on timely manner where there is a difference between GSTR 1-3B, GSTR 2B 3B, and these sections are even more tougher where the expectation to reply is within 7 days, else the notice for demand would be brought in. Further, we have the rules, registration rules, which can also permit the officer to suspend the registration if someone is not responding. And truly, we are moving towards a digital era where we are actually, if you are not using the technology, you are going to be left out of the compliance. And GST is a compliance-based law. So our endeavor is to update everyone on ensuring that you move on to the right compliances. This is our 72nd session. Month on month, we do the sessions. So we always take a feedback from the participants and looking at what is important, what is required for the participants, we look at that. We ensure that the timely update on GSTs are taken. We have a separate channel on the GST community, WhatsApp community. People on that get frequent updates on the GST. We also, being a finance professionals, we ensure that we have to have a flavor of technology. Today, we are moving to the world of the GPTs, the world of AI and ML. 5 years back, if someone was talking about an artificial intelligence, it is restricted to only few pockets of the industries or the engineers. But that has become like a basic curriculum, and everyone passing out has some concepts of the models to build on AI and ML. That being the case, we finance professionals always have to strive towards ensuring that we are updated, else we will get outdated. So inside of this, our endeavor, we also conduct a tech sessions where we give the tips and tricks on Excel, Tally, Power Queries, Power BI, and other tools which are useful to us a day-in-day basis. On this note, we'll start this session, the 72nd session, wherein we are covering the aspects of electronic credit reclaim statement, which is a new statement that needs to be reported on or before 30th November. And the second important point on the GST is how do we handle litigations with respect to the old cases where I have not filed any appeal. The government has come up with an amnesty scheme facilitating the taxpayers to file an appeal within the specified time limit. So if you have missed out a time limit under section 107, how do you utilize a one-time mechanism has been brought in. We are going to cover these two sessions. Post that, in the technology session, today we are going to give you a glimpse of building a dashboard in Microsoft Excel using Power Query where the data is fetched from Tally. The advantage of this, management time to time needs various reports. Using this Power Query, you can put all the data in one Excel file, create your own dashboard. You can publish it on a Google spreadsheet too. And people all the times, they just open that Excel file, they get the latest data. That is the advantage of integrating. So one doesn't need to do anything manually. You just press a button, a refresh, boom, your data is ready. These are the two things that we are going to cover. With me, I have my colleagues Jagdish and Tarun, who will be walking us through the sessions. Let us start the session with the GST by Jagdish. We are at 3:08. We try completing the session by 5:30. This being a knowledge session, feel free to interact, ask your queries as much as you have, whether relating to this subject or anything relating to the GST. We are here to assist and guide you. On this note, I hand over the session to Jagdish. Jagdish, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. The agenda of today's session is first I will discuss about the electronic credit reversal and reclaim statement, and then we'll move on to the action point for the October month. And at the end we will discuss about the amnesty scheme for filing appeal. Okay, and then we will take up some other Q&A and other issues. So ECRS, just a second. Yeah, electronic credit reversal and reclaim statement, which has been introduced by GST portal recently from the August 2023 by means of advisor. Okay. Interestingly, the statement has not been provided under the GST law, per se, unlike the electronic liability ledger, electronic cash ledger, or credit ledger. But this is something which is going to impact scrutiny in the returns in the future if we are not careful enough with regard to the following statement regularly. So we need to understand what is this statement all about and what is the reason for introducing this ECRS, that is electronic credit reversal and reclaim statement. From now onwards, I use ECRS. Okay. Before we understand the statement, we need to understand the new GST 3B filing mechanism, which has been introduced in from July 2022. First, we will see what is the new GST 3B filing mechanism. So in July 2022, CBIC has rolled out.
Sorry to interrupt. I think we are still in the slide 1.
Yes, sir. I will come back again. The objective once directly if I tell the table numbers, no one will.
No, I'm saying the slides are not moving.
Okay. It's not moving, sir?
No.
Okay, I will reshare it. Just so here advanced sharing option is coming. Who can share? Only host only can share.
You just click on share and select the PPT and put it into presentation. That's it. Earlier it was shared. It's just that
Yes, sir.
Okay, nevertheless, let me share it. You can request a remote control and yeah. Is this visible for you, Jagdish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is my screen visible, sir? Now?
Yeah, visible now.
Okay. 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 Now we'll see. Yeah. Now is my slides moving, sir?
No, 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 no. I think earlier it was.
Okay.
One second. Maybe just start the presenter so that we can just see full screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you move on to the next slide, sir?
Yeah, you can control. You can.
Yeah. Okay. So before going into what is all about the ECRS statement, first we'll understand what is the new 3B filing mechanism. So from in July 2022, CBIC has rolled out key changes in the form GST 3B to standardize the ITC reporting and reversal and reclaim. So there is no change in reporting of the outward supply. There is a change only in reporting regarding the input tax credit. Now, first coming up with the table 4A5, all other ITC. In the table all other ITC, what of the ITC that is eligible in the 2B will be auto-populated in the table 4A5. And the reversal, permanent reversal, that is blocked grade under section 17.5 and the reversal under rule 42, 43 and under rule 38. That is in case of banking companies, 50% of the ITC that have to reverse. That all that permanent reversal, that is which we cannot be reclaimed in the future. All that credit need to be reported in the table 4B1. Earlier, table 4A5, that is all other ITC, shall not be form part of ineligible ITC. And many taxpayers use it to declare in the table 4A5 after netting off the credit notes and ineligible ITC and reversal. But to standardize this for uniform practice to report the ITC, this change has been brought in. So that is the table 4A5. Table 4B1 is the permanent reversal. Table 4B2 is the temporary reversal. In table 4B2, whatever the ITC that was reversed, eligible ITC which was reversed because of not meeting certain specific conditions, all that ITC we need to report in the 4B2. What are all the ITC that we reverse in the 4B2 we'll discuss in the later slides with the examples. Okay, so that is the main change. Net ITC is 4A5 minus 4B1 minus 4B2. That is gross ITC as reduced by permanent reversal and the temporary reversal. The reclaimed ITC, what we report in the 4B2, if we want to reclaim in the future periods on meeting of the conditions. So that we need to report in the table 4A5. That we need to add that to the auto-populated figure to the 4A5. And what are the ITC reclaimed that we need to disclose it in the table 4D1. Here we need to report. So that is the change that I have brought in the new GST 3B filing mechanism. So now see what is the need of this ECRS state. So first we'll see the objective, why this has been introduced.
Jagdish, again your voice is not audible.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, can you move on to the first slide, sir? I'm not able to control this PPT.
Just press home button. You are the only one.
You share
You
it, sir, I will take the remote of yours.
No problem. You're able to do it?
Yes, sir. You share your screen, sir. I will take the remote control of yours.
Yeah.
GST
Jagdish, your voice is not audible.
to a level, will not have the keep. We can IT first and claim that reported.
Your voice is hello. Your voice is not audible.
Jagdish, your voice is not audible. Okay, let me take over. Let's just check your internet. Yeah. So, friends, let's look at the objective of this statement. Now, if you notice, the GSTR 3B got changed in the middle of the year, which is July 22. What we were doing till then, if there is an ineligible credit, we were reporting it under 4D. If something is not belonging to you, you were reporting under 4D. What you are reporting under 4A is the credit that belongs to you. Now, credit that doesn't belong to you was going to 4D. So if I have to compare with my 2A and my 3B, all the credits which are there in 2A would be in part of 4A5 and 4D. That's how it used to be. With the new GSTR 3B, the government stated that the entire credits of your 2A, bring it to 4A5. Those that doesn't belongs to you, you reverse it. Reverse it where? Again, they brought in two reversals, which is permanent and temporary. 4B1 is mentioned as permanent reversal. 4B2 has been mentioned as temporary reversal. So the government has brought in two reversal mechanisms. Now, I started reversing my input tax credit either in 4B1 or 4B2. There is also, when we say there is something a temporary reversal, I mean that I am reversing now, I will reclaim it at a later point in time. Where do I reclaim? I will be reclaiming by reporting into 4A5 again. So original expectation was my 2B should match with 4A5. The original expectation is my 2B should be matching with 4A5. Now, given that there is a restatement happening, so I am reversing and reclaiming it. My reclaiming is happening in 4A5. So what will happen? My opening balance, my balance in 4A5 is higher in some months. In certain months, my balance in 4A5 is higher. Now, to ensure that there is no unnecessary notices from the department, the government also stated the excess reversal, excess claim owing to the earlier period reversals, report it into 4D1. So 4B2 corresponds to 4D1. So sum total of 4B2 should always be higher than a value in 4D1. So because this is the value that you are claiming. Now, what is it going to happen this way? Government will always get a control saying that how much of the credit that you are claiming belongs to credit of the current period, credit of the previous period. All well and good. Now, with this, why do we need to have this opening balance reclaim statement? Now, the government is also unable to control, given that there is no opening balance. There people have made mistakes. And what would be the quantum of mistakes? Your ability to make mistake, people make. Higher the ability, higher the mistakes. What type of mistakes happen? Mistake number 1. Credit appearing in 2B, I did not take it. Why? I don't know. It is not accounted. Okay. Mistake number 2. Credit appearing in 2B, I have availed it. Doesn't belong to you. Okay, reverse it. I didn't reverse it. Reversal happened in subsequent month. It should have been a permanent reversal. It should have been part of 4B1. I reversed it in 4B2. So I actually don't know what is a true permanent reversal and true temporary reversal. Now, government said there should be a point. Let me begin a starting point, and from there I will take on. And that is where they have introduced a new ledger called electronic credit and reclaim statement. If I have to give you an accounting analogy for the tax analogy, the accounting standard 22, where we use deferred tax accounting, or the MAT credit, where you are carrying forward something like the deferred tax asset is a value that you are carrying forward. At one point in time, you will utilize and pay a lower income tax than the computed tax of say 25% or 30%. Likewise, this you can call it as a shadow balance. The balance in your electronic credit ledger is a real balance available for you to avail the input tax credit. The balance in the electronic credit reclaim statement is the balance which will help you to track how much of the credit that is available in the future. That is what the objective. So this is a statement facilitating to compute the reclaim and also bring consistency with the past mistakes that have happened. Expecting the future, you will be doing it correctly. Broadly, this is the objective of the reclaim statement. Okay. Any questions to anyone at this point? Please put your question in the chat. There is a question, what is the meaning of ITC restricted due to POS rules? Okay. The credit that is there in GST or 2B, it will be split into 2 parts. Part 1, it is available and eligible. Part 2 is not available. What is not available? Let's say I here from Bangalore went all the way to Delhi for a conference, stayed in a hotel. The Delhi hotel has charged me CGST, SGST of Delhi. It is there in my electronic credit ledger 2B. Not electronic credit, it is there in my 2A and 2B. Can I take input tax credit of it? Answer is no. Because my registration is of Karnataka, I cannot avail the credit belongs to Delhi. Hence, that 2B will automatically travel to 4D2 and not 4A5. So there is some portion of 2B which is not eligible. Let's take another case of 16 subsection 4, the classic example, where the time limit to avail input tax credit is up until 30th November of the next financial year. For example, someone has filed his GSTR1. Please note, someone has filed GSTR1 for the month of March 23 in December 23. The March 23 GSTR1 filed in the month of December 23. In such a situation, what happens to input tax credit? That input tax credit, even though it is available in 2A and 2B, you cannot claim the credit because he has filed it after the due date. Your time limit to avail the credit is only till 30th November. Hence, this credit, even though appearing in your 2A, 2B, it would automatically be marked to 4D2 as a permanent reversal, is never eligible. This is the broad understanding of ineligible credit. So, hope you got the bifurcation and the concept, why this has been brought in. Now let's get into at what periodicity, what is the period that needs to be covered. And Jagdish, whenever your internet is up, you can tell, you can join. There are two types of taxpayers we have. People who are filing regularly, that means GSTR1 on 11th and 3B on 20th. We call them as monthly filer. There are QRMP schemes, quarterly returns, monthly payment of taxes, wherein they furnish information furnishing facility, IFF, invoice furnishing facility, the IFF. The information is filed by 13th of the subsequent month, which respect to B2B data. They make the payment of taxes, while their 3B is filed only once in a quarter. Now, for both these taxpayers, they have chosen a different start dates. Predominantly 90% of the taxpayers are monthly taxpayers. They have been expected to compute the opening balance as on 1st August 23. Please note the date mentioned here is 1st August 23. So to specify in the return period pertains to August 23. That means whatever the ITC reversal you have done till July 23, the ITC reversal that you have done till July 23 can be considered in your opening balance reconciliation statement. If you are a quarterly filer, you are filing April, May, June, July, August, September. So the cutoff limit given to them is April to June. That means the opening balance as on 1st July 23 is what you have to compute. Broadly, please note that the opening balance for the monthly filers is 1st August, which means closing date of 31st July. The opening balance for quarterly filers is 1st July. That's the April, May, June quarter closing. Yeah. Okay. There's a question by Kirti. No, Kirti is answering. Should we check 2A and 2B every month? Okay, I request participants to actually put your name appropriately so that I can understand. There's a question was saying that we are reconciling only from 2B and we will not verify 2A. We will claim from 2B. Should we check every month 2A and 2B? And my answer to it is you will have to still check 2A and 2B. It all depends. Now, is it increasing your manpower? Maybe yes. Everything is system driven. So ideally, I always suggest for the purpose of credit control and vendor follow-up, you should only check 2A and not 2B. Because there would be suppliers who would be filing their R1 late owing to the technical glitches. When R1 is filed late, when GSTR1 is filed late, it would be there in your 2A and not 2B. Then what is the purpose of 2B? Purpose of 2B is to quantify the outer limit of the credit that you can claim. So out of 100 line items, you will have 80 line items in 2B. What happens to the 20 line items which will appear in the next month period? Hence, you will take the quantum available in 2B as your credit. But for the purpose of reconciliation for the books, you will be using 2A as the basis. Generally, can I ignore 2A and I can use only 2B? Answer is yes. If you are doing a YTD basis reconciliation, you can always use 2B. But if you are doing a reconciliation for any particular given month, let's say I want to check whether all my purchases of July have been properly getting reflected, then I will have to check July 2A. But I'm doing a reconciliation April to September, then you will be looking at April to September. All right. This is how the broadly it happens. Now, how do we start reporting? Where do I report everything? First and foremost, you have to do this reporting by 30th November. The reporting timeline is 30th November. We are just fag end of October. 1 month time we have to do the reporting. At the beginning, as Jagdish said, is there a legal precedence to it? Is this given in the act, rules, notification anywhere? The answer is no. This is not backed by anything. Will something happen if I don't do this? If you have an appetite to fight legally, win a legal battle, well, go ahead. Otherwise, you want to be better compliant, mind your business, then file this. Now, when do I file? I should be filing by 30th November. After 30th November, you cannot file it. Please note, you cannot file it after 30th November. You may say, hey, look, I don't have time. I have to do various other works. I cannot do it correctly. I want someone to verify. My answer to it is, even after you file, assign this engagement to someone to verify whether whatever you have filed is correct or not. The government has given 3 opportunities for a revision. Please note, government has given 3 opportunities for amendment. You can correct it 3 times. And you can correct it provided you file it on or before 30th November. If you have not filed before 30th November, there is no question of amendment. But if you are filing within 30th November, you may file nil return as on 30th November, no problem. Those zeros can be edited with something. But if you have not submitted anything, nothing can be done. I'm not sure how many have you opened your electronic credit reclaim statement. It's already available on the portal. You can log in and see. So you can correct it up until 31st December. So entering till 30th November. Today also I can file it. Tomorrow I can correct it. The correction limit 3 times. Original data entry is 30th November. Last update date is 31st December 23. These are the dates and the things that one needs to be very mindful of. There's one question from Anand Vaidyanathan. Inadvertently availed ITC, where do I reverse? It's a permanent reversal and it's written to say, and in return it says to reverse in 4B2. Mr. Vaidya, 4B2 is for temporary reversal and not permanent reversal. 4B1 is permanent reversal and 4B2 is the temporary reversal. Okay. So this is what the expected behavior of the compliance. My value which is there in 2B should be matching with 4A5. Assuming it is not matching with 4A5, that means you have made an excess claim. The excess claim should also be reported in 4D1. So 4A5 minus 4D1 should be matching with 2B. But however, as I said, 2 exceptions. There is a value in those 2 exceptions, then it would be there in 4D2. Right? Jagdish, are you back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to continue?
Yes, sir, I will continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sir said the period 2B period. So what is the credit reflecting in 2B must match with 4A5 minus 4D1. That is the auto ITC available in the GST 2B as reduced by the reclaimed ITC. So if there is any deviation between this GST 2B equals to 4A5 minus 4D1, then you will get a warning message that you are attempting to reclaim the excess ITC than the ITC that is available in the electronic ECRS statement. In that case, still, even that warning also, still you have an option to proceed with the filing. Okay, and however, it is advisable to not to reclaim the ITC exceeding the closing balance of ECRS statement. So, and may report the pending reverse ITC if any as ITC reversal opening balance. Okay. So it is always advisable not to claim in excess of the ITC balance available in the ECRS statement. Okay. So now we'll see how to compute the opening balance. So we'll see how to compute the opening balance before the GST 3B in old GST 3B filing mechanism and the new GST 3B filing mechanism. So we'll see before the old 3B filing mechanism. ITC or ITC as per 2B, you should be bifurcated into the two parts: ITC available and ITC not available. And ITC not available will report in the 4D2, and the ITC available, again it is bifurcated into the four parts. And net ITC available, that is the 4C, 4B, 4A minus 4B, that is the net ITC 4C. And reverse temporarily. This may be reversed due to any of the conditions that might not met, and the permanent reversal in the rule 42. Ineligible ITC, this is just a disclosure that we used to report in the 41 in the old written filing mechanism. Actually, this for ineligible ITC shall not form part of the gross ITC, that is 4A5. Now it is form part of 4A5 gross ITC. Okay. Do you want to add anything here? Okay. So what we'll see. What are all the credits not claimed prior to the July 2022 can be formed part of the ECRS. If I not avail the ITC in the whole GST filing regime, in that case, might be that I missed the availment due to the accounting error or reporting error, or in 2B but not in books, or non-fulfillment of conditions stated in the section 16 subsection 2. Then what I have to do? So still we have the time to avail the ITC pertaining to the 22-23. That is up to 30th November, we can avail the ITC pertaining to the 2022-23. So avail that ITC in the upcoming returns. What are the returns that we going to file before November 30? So post that you cannot avail the ITC pertaining to the 22-23. So how to report? We have a two options to report that ITC. Either you can report only in the table 4A5 or report in the table 4A5, that is the all other ITC, and the table 41 reclaim ITC. And you have to report the same figure in the ECRS statement in the opening balance. So now we'll see what are the ITC that can be part of the opening balance in the ECRS statement. Whatever the ITC have availed and reversed, that ITC will form part of the opening balance of the ECRS. So there is no time limit to avail the ITC which has been reversed. There is no time limit for the re-availment. There is only the time limit which has been provided in the section 16 subsection 4 to avail the ITC. Once you have the avail the ITC and reverse, you can avail that ITC at any point of time. There is no restriction for re-availment. So now we'll see the new GST 3B reporting. Okay. Sir, can you please continue, sir? Yeah.
You're unable to control again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which slide you want to go forward? Or?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This slide. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Now we'll see new GST 3B reporting mechanism. So from July 2022, the circular states that this we already discussed the new return filing mechanism in the first slide itself. So in the table 4A5, it will be auto-populated directly from the GST 2B. Whatever the ITC eligible in the 2B, that will auto-populated. That will be auto-populated in the table 4A5. To that ITC, whatever the ITC has been reversed in earlier 2B, but reclaimed now, that we have to add it to the auto-populated figure in 4A5. And whatever the ITC we are adding to the auto-populated figure, the same we have to report in the table 41. That is the reclaimed table, ITC reclaimed table. So in nutshell, we can say that the figure which is which is available in the 2B, the net ITC, net eligible ITC must match with 4A5 minus 4D1. And coming to the reversal, in the table 4B1, as I said, table 4B1 is meant for the permanent reversal. In this table, we report the blocked ITC under section 17, subsection 5, and the ITC, which is reversal under rule 42, 43, if we have any exempted supplies. And in the table 4B2 is meant for temporary reversal. This permanent reversal and temporary reversal are provided in this circular, not in the anywhere in the act. Okay, act or the rules. So now coming to the 4B2, that is the temporary reversal ITC where taxpayers want to claim in the latter period of time. That ITC we need to report in the table 4B2. Okay. Now coming to the disclosure, table 41. Earlier in the old GST 3B mechanism, in the 41 we used to report the ineligible ITC, but from July 2022 onwards, in the table 41 we has to report the reclaimed ITC, which was reversed earlier. And coming to the table 42, this is this table will be auto populated. Place of supply, my invoice having the place of supply other than my registration, that will be auto populated here. POS. Let's say my place, I'm located in the Karnataka, and I have received the invoice having the place of supply Andhra Pradesh. In that case, I am not eligible to take the ITC. Coming to the section 16.4, if my supplier has reported the invoice pertaining to the March beyond the time limit provided in the section 16 subsection 4, then that will be auto populated in table 4B2. Let's say invoice period related to the March 2023. But my supplier has reported that in the December 2023. In that case, it will be time bar. I'm not allowed to take the ITC on that invoice. So that will be auto. This is the new written filing mechanism. Now again, ITC as per 2B, it will be bifurcated into two buckets, that is available and not available. Not available, just now I discussed, that is the table 4D2, having the place of supply other than the registration, my registration, and 16.4, and the available ITC, eligible and claim, that we need to report in the table 4F5. Eligible and claim letter, I report in the table 4F5, and in the temporary reversal, that ITC I will claim it later, that I have to report in the table 4B2. And ineligible ITC, I have to report, already it will be auto populated in the table 4A5. Now I have to report that ITC in the table 4B1, ineligible ITC, that is the permanent reversal. So in this, what are all form part of the opening balance? What are all I have to take as an opening balance of the ECRS statement? The ITC which I have not availed, not at all reported in the 3B, even it is auto-populated in the 4A5, but I have reduced the auto-populated figure. Let's say my auto-populated figure is 100 in the table 4A5, but I have reduced that figure to 80. In that case, the 20 rupees will form part of my opening balance of ECRS statement. And coming to the ITC which I have reported in the table 4B2, that is the temporary reversal. Here I have mentioned it and pending to reclaim. These two parts, what I have a temporary reversal and what the ITC, what I have not taken in that 4A5 itself. These two will form part of my ECRS statement to opening balance. Okay. So moving on to the next slide. Yeah. Electronic credit reversal and reclaim statement. So this from when it will be tracked. So for what period I have to report it as an opening balance. There are many questions in that trade, whether I am filling it today, whether the balance as on today I have to report, or the balance as on 1st August I have to report. So the balance as on after filing the July 2023 return, whatever the balance is there, that balance I have to report as an opening balance, not the balance what I am reporting today or tomorrow. Okay. So ECRS ledger has been introduced from August 2023. Already, it is available in the portal. So, for tracking the ITC that has been reversed in the 4x2 for claiming future and the ITC reclaim. So, whatever the ITC that have been reversed in the temporary reversal from the August 23 onwards, it will keep track of the ITC reversal and reclaim from the August return itself. Okay. So in the first slide, I discussed that what are all the ITC that will be reversed under 4B2, that is temporary reversal. In what cases I do the temporary reversal? We'll see the cases. If I receive the goods, but and my ITC is also reflecting in my 2B, but I don't have a invoice. In that case, I'm not allowed to take the ITC as per section subsection 2. And I have received invoice, and the invoice is reflecting in my 2B, and payment also made, but I have not received the goods. Or in case of lot or installments, I have not received my lost installment or lost lot. In that case also, I am not allowed to take the ITC in the current period. As and when I receive the last installment or receive the goods, then only I am allowed to take the ITC. In that case, you have to reverse the ITC in the current period, and as and when you receive the goods, if you receive the goods in the next month or then or after 2 months, in that case only you are allowed to take the ITC. So coming to the next case, section 16 subsection 2 clause C or rule 37A. That is rule 37A. This is the new rule. My supplier has filed the GSTR1 and I have received the goods, and all the conditions specified in the section subsection 2A, B, D, I have complied. But my supplier has not filed his 3B. So in that case, I have to reverse that. When I have to reverse the ITC? So I have to check all my vendors list, whether they have filed a 3B or not, up to the September 30 of the subsequent year. Let's say for the 22-23, my supplier has to file his 3B by 30th September 2023. Otherwise, I have to reverse my ITC in the month of the October. If my supplier, again, I can reclaim when my supplier has filed a 3B later. Let's say my supplier has filed his 3B in the December 2023. In that case, I can avail the ITC in the month of December 2023. So first, that's the case in the that's the third case. Coming to the next one, rule 37. In case I have not made the payment to my supplier within 180 days. In that case also have to reverse the ITC. Reversal of any ITC available in 4EFI in the previous tax period. Yeah. So now what are timelines? What are on the timeline? It has this one already discussed by the Venu sir. Again, I am reiterating it. So it has to report by the 30th November 2023. After that, you cannot report. Even if you don't have any, if you are not ready with the computation by 30th November, then you file the nil return. Otherwise, you are not allowed to file the amendment thereafter. If you so amendment. So what type of amendment? How many times I can do the amendments? You are allowed to make the amendment 3 times. That too only up to the 31st December. Post to 31st December 2023, ECRS opening balance will get frozen. You cannot do anything. Okay, so be cautious while filing the opening balances. So tracking of ECRS start from, as I already discussed, tracking is already is starting from August 23 onwards. In case of monthly return filers, in case of quarterly return filers, tracking will start from July 23 return period onwards. And coming to the ECRS closing balance computation. Let's say if you report the opening balance as an 1 lakh, and in the month of August, you have reversed under temporary reversal 50,000 and reclaim 1 lakh. So in that case, the closing balance would be 1 lakh is my opening balance. 1 lakh is my opening balance, and a temporary reversal is 50,000 less 50,000, add 60,000 is my reclaimed ITC, that is minus 60,000. So from out of 1 lakh opening balance, reclaimed ITC is 60,000 and add back is 50,000. So my closing balance would be 90,000. So if you try to avail the ITC more than the ITC that is there in the ECRS statement, then you will get the warning message. Okay, still, but still you have an option to continue further. Okay. Now, how to compute the ECRS opening balance? First,
There was a question asking to go back to the previous slide. I don't know which one, but maybe when you look at this slide on computation of ECRS statement, you will get a fair idea. So maybe please pay attention to it. This is very important.
so now we'll see how to compute that ECRS opening balance. First, take the net all other ITC of 2B from April 2022 to July 23 in case of monthly return filers, quarterly return filers till the Q1 of the 23-24. So out of that, total eligible ITC in 2B, from that reduce the ineligible ITC, identify the ineligible ITC and reduce from that. So net figure, keep it aside. Okay, that's the C, eligible ITC. Now take the net all other ITC reported in the GST 3B from April 2022 to July 23. Okay, from that, whatever the ITC you have availed in the 23-24 pertaining to the 21-22. Sorry, 21-22 and 22-23. That you reduce from the net all other ITC. Okay. So you will get one figure. Now you compare both the figures. The figure you arrived from the 2B and the figure you arrived from the GST 3B, actual return filing and the auto-populated figure. You compare this, and you will, if you get that difference would be your opening balance of your ECRS statement. Let's say if you got the positive difference, let's say 1 lakh. Identify the reason for that difference, 1 lakh. Out of that 1 lakh, 60,000 is my temporary reversal, and I have missed to avail the ITC. Let's say 22-23 ITC, I missed to avail. 40,000 ITC, I missed to avail. So combining 60,000 plus 40,000, 1 lakh. I have identified the reason. Put that is my opening balance. Okay. There may be chances that you may get the negative figure also. What might be the reason for getting the negative figure? Because ineligible, you missed to report the ineligible ITC at that point of time. So now from 2B, you identified the ineligible ITC. The same ineligible ITC what you have identified from the 2B, you have not reversed in your 3B while filing GST 3B. So that might be the reason you are getting the negative figure. In that case, if you get the negative figure as a balance figure, don't report the negative. Even portal will also don't report the negative figure. Put the opening balance as a 0 and file it. Okay. So, sir, do you want to add anything here, sir?
So before I add, maybe I would like to look at the questions of the participants, whether they have understood, not understood, because this is little important. If on a thumb rule, if I have to tell, the sum total of 2B should be there in your electronic credit ledger. If it is not there, you need to bring it into the opening balance so that you can avail it in the later point. But please note, it cannot be into the opening balance statement unless you claim and reverse it. Unless you claim and reverse it, it cannot be part of the opening balance. Because you have 16 subsection 4, which says that the credit that you need to avail within the time limit that is specified under the law, which is 30th November. good part of it, why they have given you 30th November for you is you do it now. For the financial year 22-23, for the full of that period, see what are the things that you have claimed. Hoping nothing has moved from 21-22 to 23-23. If something, you can explore that. And do that missing credit, claim it now in 4FI. And if you feel that you still doubtful, not eligible, whatever be the reason you want to park it, including Rule 37A, where the supplier has filed R1 but not filed his 3B, for whatever be the reasons, reverse those credits, no issue. Reverse that and park it into your electronic credit reclaim statement. So that is why I call this as a shadow ledger. So this is available for you as a credit later point in time. And once you report it in your electronic credit line statement, I am of the view 16.4 cannot come into the way when you are re-availing it, because the condition to 16.4 is claiming and have fulfilled the availment within the specified timeline. Hence, this is a welcome statement. Everyone have to do the computation. So broadly, this is on the reclaim. If anyone have any doubts, please put your question in the chat. Hope you understood the purpose of the reclaim and the computation methodology of reclaim. All right. So we'll move to the next point. ECRS claiming how to do on the GST website. Can you show? Yeah, maybe we'll check this. Once this is done, we can just go to the online and show how to fill it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So, yes. Now we'll see other points related to the ITC. Maintain transaction level details of ITC claim for that month and reversal for that month, and reclaim in which period we have claimed, and the ITC invoice level you maintain this separate record, because department may ask anything. They ask this invoice when you have availed this ITC, in which period you have availed. They may ask. So maintain these records at transaction level. Invoice for details you maintain. When I have claimed this ITC, when if I reversed on the temporary reversal, when I have reversed and again when I have reclaimed. Okay. And maintain the records of ITC reclaim reported with regions. Okay. So coming to the ITC, only in books, but not in 2A. For the 2022-23, due date to avail the last date to avail the ITC is now 30th November. So follow up with your vendors and ensure that they have filed the return in the October. Otherwise, you are not allowed to take the ITC pertaining to the financial year 22-23. So impact of mismatch. This is the new statement, new form GST DRC 01C as per rule 88D. If my ITC availed in ITC availed in GST 3B is more than the ITC auto generated in the portal, in that case, department will issue this notice stating that you have availed the ITC more than the ITC auto populated. That is in the from 2B it will be auto populated, right? So you have availed the ITC more than the ITC that has been auto done. So in that case, if you don't give the reply within the 7 days, department will confirm that the difference amount. Okay, see here. Said amount shall be liable to be demanded in accordance with the provisions of sections 73 and 74 as the case may be of that. So, going on to the next slide, we'll discuss. So, what could be the reasons for getting that difference? ITC ITC in 3B is more than the auto generated statement. So, possible reasons. following are the possible reasons. So input tax credit not availed in the earlier tax periods due to non-receipt of inward supplies, or as the case may be. In that case also, that difference will get. And input tax credit not availed in earlier tax periods inadvertently or due to mistake or omission. Okay. And in respect of SEZ supplies or import of goods, even now, imports and SEZ supplies are not auto-populating correctly every month. We have to if it is not reflecting in the 2B, we used to retransmit it from the 2B, or requesting the IceGate to retransfer the details from IceGate to the GST portal. Even now, many taxpayers are facing this issue. Even that case also, there may be the difference between the auto drafted and this one. Actual 3B. In 3B, we used to avail the ITC based on the actual bill of entry or DTA procurement copies in case of SEZ. So coming to the next reason, excess reversal of ITC in previous periods. By mistake, some of our participants has asked that I have reversed excess ITC inadvertently. What I have to do? Where I have to report that? So in that case also, you may get this difference. And recredit of ITC on payment made to supplier. In respect of ITC reversed as per the rule 37. Rule 37 we have already discussed. In case you have not made the payment within 180 days, you have, in that case, you have to reverse the ITC, right? Coming to the rule 37A. In that case also, this case also we already discussed that my supplier have not filed his 3B till September month of the subsequent year. In that case, I have to reverse the ITC. In that case also, you may get the difference. And form 3B. And for GST 3B has filed with incorrect details and will be amended in the next tax period. In that case also, actual correct figure is amended in the subsequent year. In that case also, you may get that reason and any other reasons. These are all the identified reasons. And other than this, if any reason is there, you mention that reason for that difference and submit it to the department. Otherwise, whatever the difference they have identified, they will freeze it and raise the demand. Now moving on to the next slide. Now we'll see disclosure of ITC reversal and reclaim in GSTR 9 of 23-20, 22-23. So what are the ITC? I have total ITC availed in the 22-23. So split it into the two buckets, availed and reverse. Whatever the ITC have availed in the 2023, that have to report in the table 6. And in the whatever the ITC I have availed in the subsequent year, that is the current financial year 23-24, that ITC I have to I need to report in the table 13. Now coming to the reversal part, the ITC that may be the temporary reversal or the permanent reversal. Whatever the ITC I reverse in the same financial year, that I need to report in the table 7, and 22-23 ITC reversed in the subsequent year, that is 23-24, that I need to report in the table 12. Let's simple. Net ITC as per GSTR 9 is table 6 minus table 7. That is ITC avail minus ITC reversal. 6 minus 7 is my net ITC. That will be compared with my ITC as per books. That we'll see in the later slide. So in the table 13, 12 and 13, what are the ITC we have availed in the subsequent year and reversed in the subsequent year, that we need to reverse in the table 12 and the table 13. This is the linking of credit between GSTR 9 and the 3B. How the credit flow between what ITC I have to report in the 9 and where I have to obtain the data to report in the GSTR 9, we'll see. What are the ITC have reported in the table 4A5, that is my all other ITC. That ITC I need to report in the table 6B and the table 6H, that is the forward charge credit. And reverse charge credit I report in the table 4A3, and the table 4A is for ITC, right? 4A3. What are the 6C and 6D? I have to report in the GST. That is, table 6C is from registered and the table 60 is from the unregistered dealer. And table 4A1. In table 4A1, what are the ITC I have availed on the import of goods? I have to report in the table 4A1. In the GST R9, I have to report that in the table 6E. And import of service 4A2, and in the GST R9, I have to report in 6F and IST credit. Input service distributor in the that I have to report in the table 4A4 of GST 3B, and the GST R9 have to report in the table 6C. This is the way to obtain the data to fill in the GST R9. So this is all about this field. And coming to the other issues. Yeah. Sir, can you take it, sir? Other issues?
Yeah. Any doubts to anyone at this till this point? There's one question from Kirti. So Kirti is asking 22-23, which has been parked in 4B2 and not claimed till December. What do I do? How do I move it to 4B1? Kirti, I'm not sure that why you have not claimed. The reason I think you gave supplier has not filed 3B and ITC is not belonging to us. And okay, so the moment ITC doesn't belong to you and you have parked it in your opening balance reclaim statement, there are two things you can do. You can consider not bringing under opening balance reclaim statement. By chance, if you brought it under opening balance reclaim statement, report it under 4D1. The moment you report it under 4D1, you will not be able to, it will automatically reduce from your opening balance statement. Hope this is clear. My voice is clear, right? Jagdish?
Yes, sir, it's clear, sir.
All right, done. Okay. So let's move further. What are the other issues that needs to be done? The one needs to look at. The other issues one needs to look at is ensuring the tracking of the compliances from the vendor. Now, mere filing of R1 and visibility in 2B is not sufficient. We have new rule 37A which says that you cannot avail the input tax credit unless the supplier files the 3B. If he has not filed the 3B, you have to ensure that you reverse it. And if you are not reversing it by 30th November, you will also be paying interest for it. This is one issue. Like Jagdish said, the compliances to be now done at the invoice level, against each invoice. When I say invoice, not the invoice in the books, but the invoice or line item which is there in the 2B. That invoice, you see whether you have availed it in this month or whether you have availed and reversed permanently, reversed temporarily. Those which is reversed temporarily, when are you reclaiming it? This tracking has to be done at a line level. And if an invoice which is not there in the 2B, it is there only in the books, it can never be claimed. You have to follow up with the vendors, and the time limit for the vendor to file his R1 is 30th November. So you've got to do a check and remind him that by next month, everyone file their R1, including the supplies that you made. Most of the times you would have given the GST number little later. It's not that he is not a non-compliant, but by the time he was filing his return, you have not given the GST number, so it was there in his B2C. Could be of that, yeah. Use of technology. If you use the technology, all this will be simplified. Now, it's manually difficult if someone wants saying that, hey, look, I'm a Superman of Excel. I will use the VLOOKUP, pivot tables, XLOOKUP, and I do all this. Nothing of that. Use the technology to do what? Technology to automatically track all your compliances. Vendor filed, not filed, filed late. Track your compliances. When you say your compliance, I'm sure everyone have been filing R1 and 3B on time. But while you are filing R1 this month, in the month of October, when you file your R1 for the month of September, all that you have done is taken the September sales and uploaded. But have you done a check between April to August? Did someone alter my books? That wouldn't have been done. Do that, right? Ensure save the workings. We get ASMT10 from somewhere, DRC0, 1C and 1D, 1B and 1C would be coming from somewhere asking you to do. In fact, yesterday I got a call from one of my clients saying that the officer has called in saying that, okay, you have availed the input tax credit on a motor vehicle. How does the officer know? They have the information. So the moment they have availed the input tax credit on motor vehicle, they have immediately alerted saying that this is an ineligible credit. Why have you availed it? Please reverse it with interest and the penalty. Now this is the scariest part. The information is available. So system is hunger. System feeds them that, okay, these are the mistakes that are happening. The moment you get a notice, please respond to it. There are some notices you have to respond within 7 days, some notices within 30 days. Please respond to them on those specified timelines. So last chances for the GST adjustment September, October, November. Earlier it was 30th September. Now the compliance has moved to November. The only date which you should remember for is October is for the credit notes. Yes, you are hearing right. There are only 2 more days left for issuing the credit note. Look at all your customer sundry debtors and see if any of the debtor has not paid, inquire the reason for it. If the materials have been returned back or the materials have been rejected saying that they are of poor quality and this customer is no longer paying, if you have a sufficient document, issue the credit note. The time limit to issue the credit note is 31st October. People think that 34 subsection 2 says 30th November. It is not. It says the report by 30th November. The reporting is in GSTR1 when you have to report by 30th November. That means the due date is 31st October. This is a very important thing. Do not forget to issue credit note by 31st October. All right, these are the dates. Outward supply 30th November. GSTR1 correction section 37(3) proviso says that everything to be done by 30th November. Credit note, though it says 30th November, the right word to use this by 31st October. Okay. In terms of action points for the accountant, ensure the outward supply includes, by now everyone have filed your register, the ITR return and the tax audit reports are done. So do a cross verification, do an outward reconciliation with the books of accounts and maintain HSN wise register, do rate wise registers, reconciliation, all those reconciliations you have to do. You have to keep those reconciliations ready. The moment your outward register is matched, segregate between B2B, B2C, with payment, without payment, 5%, 18%, do all those segregation. Compute the tax liability at rate wise and summarize it into a table and keep it handy, because 31st December is your last date for filing annual return. You would need that the data being available for filing. If there are any short taxes paid, if you have not paid some taxes, please make good of those tax payments using a challan called DRC03. You can do it through 3B, provided you are doing it by 30th November. If you are not doing by 30th November, you please use the DRC03 challan. Can I pay in input tax credit for GST9? Answer is no, you have to pay it in cash. Exception cases, you can still pay it in credit if that balance exists on the date on which the liability pertains to, and that credit balance is continuing. So you cannot trade on the future input tax credit. As long as the input tax credit exists as on that point, in my view, you can still pay it through credit, because section 49 permits you to making the payment of input tax credit towards output tax. You cannot use input tax credit only for interest and penalty. Hence, you can make the payment. But the request you do it in 3B, pay it with interest, so that you can show it into table 10 of GSTR9 and all of this is taken care. Time limit for input tax credit. This was a question which someone has asked, which 16.4 says by 30th November. After that, you cannot do it. However, if you have done till 30th November and you have reversed it, you can still avail it any point in time. There is no restriction on re-availment. There's a question, someone has not uploaded up to March 23 only, we should follow up. Yes, up to March 23 you should follow up. After, for the financial year 23-24 you still have time so that your 16.4 is not hit with it. Certain checkpoints along with the input tax credit, you should also check for reverse charge liability. So if you can just run a script looking at what is the total expenditure in the books, segregate that expenditure which is with GST and some portion of expenditure which is without GST. If it is there with GST, all that you have to do is check whether it is available in your GST R2B, else follow up with your vendor so that he files his R1 by 30th November. Now, if the credit is not there in the books of accounts, it is not there. See, either it is an accounting error or it is an exempt. But what is more important is whether it is a reverse charge liability. If so, you have to pay it. Again, the time limit to avail input tax credit on reverse charge liability is also 16 subsection 4. So that means it is the time limit is 30th November within which you have to make the payment of taxes avail input tax credit. This is important checkpoint for an accountant so that he makes sure that he does this. And what is the input tax credit on and also the credit which is there in the books, you should ensure that you have not availed ineligible credit. Like I said, someone has availed a credit on motor vehicle. You have to check along with the credits not there, the credits which are appearing in the 2B, these credits even though appearing in the 2B are not eligible for you. You cannot take any input tax credit on these credits even though if it is appearing in 2B. And those expenditure without GST, please analyze whether they are reverse charge liability. And these are the broadly, these are the expenditures. If you notice, your reverse charge liabilities will fit in. And this entry 13, central tax rate 13 by 2017, time to time they are increasing the list. So some of them are not checked in. Maybe some of them have booked all the expenditures at the year end, especially renting of immovable property, which was the recent entry, which was the account which has come in last year, June. So these credits, these expenditures, it's mandatory, you pay it under reverse charge and avail it by 30th November. So the another action point for the accountant is to check whether these credits are there. A question that might come up, will this be part of opening balance reclaim statement? Answer is no. Reverse charge can never be part of your reclaim statement because you are discharging after fulfilling the time of supply under section 12 and 13. Hence, the reverse charge liability is the month in which you are paying, you will be availing the input tax credit. Of course, it will form part of whether it is 17.5 or common credit, it will participate in the reversal of those liabilities. Moving further in terms of the next set, which is amnesty scheme on the appeals that have the new scheme that has come. Let me see before I go there any questions. If party is not registered and GST is not charging GST. If party is not under GST, not charging GST, Mr. Vaidyanathan, you don't need to worry and do nothing. But if party is registered under GST but doesn't do GST compliance, then you better not do business with them. That's all I would say. All right. The next thing for our discussion is amnesty scheme. There are various amnesty schemes that have been introduced, and in the recent 52nd council meeting, they have issued an amnesty scheme. Please note that this amnesty scheme is not for all demand orders. This amnesty scheme is for a DRC 07 issued under section 73 or 74 of the CGST Act. An order has been issued and you forgot to challenge it. You didn't challenge it. Maybe there is a bank attachment happened, the money is recovered, there's a balance in credit ledger, the money has been recovered, in whatever be the situations. Now you want to go on appeal for it. When you went for an appeal, they said, hey, look, the time limit to file appeal under section 107 is 3 months. You have crossed the time limits. You are coming, you are knocking the door late. It's like buying a railway ticket after the train left, which is of no use, right? So, but GST being a new law, people don't know what to do. The government was kind enough to give various relief measures. We got relief measure for late filing, non-filing of 3B, R1, ITC 04, GST R10, all whatever the possible reliefs that could come, including register of registration, they have issued. In the same line, they have issued if you have received a demand order on or before 31st March, and your time limit to file an appeal has been lapsed. Of course, they have used the word that whoever unable to file and it is rejected because not filed within the time limit. Even those who have not filed also can make an opportunity to file the appeal, APL 01. You can make an application and file it to the government. So in case of state, you would be going to the GST appeals. In case of the central, you will be going to the commissioner appeals. Of course, you will also look at the who has passed the original order. If the original order is by ACDC, it will be GST appeals. If the original order itself is ADC or JC, it will be going to the commissioner appeals. So the time limit, original time limit is 3 months. Now they have opened it to file the historical also. So APL 01 is the form that you will be filing, where you will get an acknowledgement that you are entitled for getting a hearing. There's an opportunity of being heard by the higher authority, saying that your demand order is wrong and it needs to be quashed or set aside. There are other procedural aspects. Even the department can go on an appeal, and the time limit for the department to go on appeal is 6 months. And certain important point here one should be aware of is pre-deposit. Now, the pre-deposit to file an appeal is 10%. Pre-deposit to file an appeal is 10%. But under Amnesty scheme, they have said, I am increasing this 10% to 12.5% for availing the extended period, and the 2.5% they are saying that it has to be paid from cash ledger only. Let's say I have a tax demand of 60,000, interest thereon, let's say 57,000, and penalty thereon 6,000 rupees. So totally I have been charged with 1,23,000 rupees. Now the pre-deposit for that is 10% of it, not 1,23,000. It is 60,000 into 10%, 6,000 rupees. That is what I have to do to file an appeal. But going under Amnesty scheme, they are expecting additional 2.5%. That means for 60,000 rupees, I have to further increase it by additional 2.5%, which is 1,500 rupees. So my pre-deposit would be 6,000 plus 1,500, 7,500 is what I will have to be paying the taxes to file an appeal. The chances that someone has not been recovered of this money is very less, because once the order is made, the recovery proceedings under section 79 will kick in. Either the bank attachment or attaching the balance in credit ledger, cash ledger would have already happened. But however, for some reason, if that has not happened, you can still go ahead and make an attempt to file the difference thing. So certain points to note here is there would be special, again, the circular and notifications. Today you have seen certain circulars, notifications have been issued. Even the section has been issued under 148, which is a special procedures for getting into powers of the department to extend the thing. Under that, they are going to use this. You can use this amnesty scheme only for the orders passed under section 73, 74. You cannot use it for the orders which have been passed under 129. This scheme is not covered. If you have a refund order which is wrongly passed, this scheme is not covered. So this scheme is applicable only for the orders passed under 73, 74. Some of the people were thinking that I have an e-webel litigations. Can I use this? Answer is no, you cannot use it. If you have an order passed for assessment of non-filers under 63 or assessment under section 76, any of this is not covered as of now. Honestly, they should have covered it, but for some reason they are not covered. Tribunals are getting formed. I'm sure there's a good swing. Even the rules for forming the judicial member, everything has been framed. So very soon we will be seeing the tribunals. Here, the important point we should note is the demand order to be filed with the Commissioner JC or the Commissioner Appeals. Before that, the time limit have to be considered. This has been given on 31st March. after 31st March. Right now, that extension is not there. These are the broad points one has to be mindful of. Moving to the last slide of my presentation, the amnesty scheme is a one-time opportunity. So, if you want to avail the amnesty scheme, you got to ensure that you file when the form is made open available, please file it. Because you can't knock the door of tribunals. You can enter into tribunal only after the failure of the first appeal. First appellate authority has rejected, only then you can go to the second appeal with the tribunal. Second, there is an additional deposit when you go to tribunal, the additional 20% that needs to be paid. The last point is this amnesty scheme is helping the taxpayers to resolve the kind of matters which were thought as settled, but you can still open it and fight for your case. There are tax positions that have changed owing to advance ruling circulars and everything, including especially the 1718 most orders were on 2A versus 3B mismatch. Owing to your circular 183 and 193, there's a good beneficial circular, so you can open up those cases and fight for your matters. This is something definitely a welcome. Please look at all those taxes paid, and if you feel that you have a merit in your case, you can fight for that. Even though you have agreed and settled and paid full, you can still fight for it, in my view. Friends, these are the points on the GST. If you have any questions, please put up your questions in the chat before we move on the tech aspect of it. And as I said, we also have our WhatsApp channel, GST WhatsApp, where we send the periodical updates. Anyone, any questions? So that we can move to the, we are well within time. We are at 4:30, and we can, by 5:30, we can, next 1 hour, we can look at the tech, which is on the dashboard of it. All right, looks like no questions. We can move to the next part, which is creating dashboards in Excel and integrating with an ERP. Today we are doing Tally, but it's applicable to any ERP. And how do we automate the journey of presentation? I invite my next colleague Tarun for this. Tarun, you are there? Can you share your...
Hello.
Sir, there is one question, sir.
One question? Yes, you can. You can unmute yourself and ask Mr. Vaidya. Yeah.
Sir, there's the order passed towards non-payment of interest.
There's an order for non-payment of interest. Okay.
Our interest was already being paid at the time of filing the GST or 3B.
Okay.
Is there any mechanism to file any letter instead of going for appeal?
No. Once you have an order, you have no other alternative. You have to file an appeal.
But it's apparent from the record, right? Before the issue of the notice.
It's apparent from record, so you can go and explain the officer. Within 6 months, the officer has the power to amend his own orders if it is apparent on record.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right. Let's move to the next part of the thing, which is on dashboard. Tarun?
Hello, sir. It is audible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so before Tarun puts up his, I'll just quickly show you. All right, so here is sample data. Now, here is my tally, and generally, let me take it to March 23. Generally, if a business user has to go through the tally data, he really hates it because over the network, it takes time. Second, it has all debit credit. He doesn't understand the debit credit, and one has to go through all the huge transaction list. There's all challenge. But someone would be happy to see, okay, this is my sales. Now, in the tally, if I have to understand my sales, I should go to my display, account books, sales register. I go to the sales, and the month over month, I get a copy of the sales. I select, I access, and I go. So here is the sales of an entity. This total sales is 7.67 crores. Average sales which is happening per day for them is 2.29 lakhs. And for the selected date, there are any 6 customers that are there. So I can click on any date. I can automatically look the sales that happen to that respective customers. I will get the amount of the sales, and against each customer what has been billed. I can easily navigate and see it. You can see all the data up until 1st April till 31st March. You can see the sales happening from different persons is available. I can just select either one company, one entity. You will be able to see the details of that. You can see the graph which is coming here of that one entity. Let me. So you can just focus here. This is of just one entity. Now, if I just remove my filter, automatically this will be showing up for all the entities of on that day that has happened. On another date which I took, it will automatically give me the sales of the customers on that. It is giving me for that date what is the sales that has happened for that customer. So that way you can automatically drill down, select it, and get those numbers. Now this is directly linked to tally. This dashboard is directly linked to tally. If I'm selecting it, it is selecting the data, showing me the information. I can easily customize further whatever the way I want to. And if I have to get my receivables outstanding from any party, I just select, okay, whatever is outstanding from any party, it is going to give. These are the dates it is outstanding from. And if I want to know my the age by age, whichever is the latest one, I can select that respective dates, whichever is the latest one outstanding, it is going to show. Bills receivable, bills payable, similar to the bills payable, we can have a dashboard. You can create any number of dashboards, any number of information under multiple things. In fact, you want a like single view, one place view of all the information. You can just create one maze of information. Like what you can see here is the bank accounts. What is my bills receivable position, bills payable position on any given point in time. It is automatically updating and giving you that, okay, yeah, this is the balance on this on a particular date. Let me just, yeah. So on a particular date, if you want to have any update of the balance, it is going to give you the closing balance or the balance on any given point in time. So information like this would always be helpful. A owner wants to have it kind of a dashboard for him to see. Can you prepare this dashboard? Of course, you can prepare this dashboard. In fact, let me just share a URL of this. This is a hypothetically. I'll put this URL in the chat for you. Yeah, just put a URL in the chat. You can just click on it. By the way, when you the advantage of that is I will be refreshing this with the data. Maybe Tarun will be opening his tally and refresh it. So the advantage of it, when I refresh it, I'll completely see a new data altogether. So that means the owner, whomsoever is there, he can access this URL. The screen opens on his page like a Google Sheet, and he can see the respective data at a different point in time, and it can further he can see it, right? So let me stop my screen and let's start with Tarun as to how we build this step by step. Let's understand this.
Hello.
Yes, Tarun.
Okay, sir. First, we have to open Tally and we have to load all the data Tally. After that, we have to open Excel, a new Excel workbook.
Oh, sorry. In the earlier sessions, we have explained you how we can get the data from Tally to Power BI to using Power Queries. I'm sure some of you have worked on it. We are using the same technology to fetch the data, and the queries are already available. It's been shared in the earlier session, but we'll just take some sample data and work on it. Yes, slowly we can go, Tarun.
Okay, sir. First of all, here is ribbon tabs. We have to open data. 1 minute. Go to data. Data ribbon tab, and we have to go get data, and we have to select from other source and blank query. So here we get a blank query file. Open advanced editor. So we have to paste that query here, and done. It automatically fetch the data from Tally. So this is the data coming from Tally. Okay. First I have to log in. So this is the Infosys developer data. When I do refresh, so this is the data coming from Tally, and we are now going to make a dashboard. So first we have to close and load. We have to choose option close load to, and it will show options like table, pivot table, report data, report, and pivot charts. Only create connection. Now we are going to take a pivot table report. So click OK. So it will redirect to pivot table. So here nothing but we have to select what columns are required here. So I will select in a debit amount and not debit amount, customer names in columns, and in rows I will select in dates. And totals I will take as in values. So this is the data. I will remove customers. Once I will show you how the data comes. Like it's like a pivot table. From this, we are going to make a now visuals, dashboards. Here we have to select insert tab, insert ribbon tab, and recommended charts. So I will select in a column table, column visual. So it will show preview how it comes from pivot data. So I will click on OK. So when I click on OK, it will show that our dates and customers amount, total, sum of the totals. So I will take a new sheet from query. And again, we have to take in slices, which used as in a filters. So insert, we need to go slices. So here we have to select what columns are required for visuals. So I will select a customer name, and then voucher type is sales voucher. So no need to select a voucher type, and totals also not required. So I will select a date and click OK. And here is slices appeared, and we have to move these slices and dashboard to other sheet, or we can do here itself. So I'm selecting the slices and dashboard, Control X, and I'm moving to sheet 3. So here we are going to make a dashboard, sales dashboard. So we can arrange these slices side by side like this. And we need to, if you like to format or change any colors, we can change by clicking on these. Slices colors will be changed. So this is how we can change the colors of our slices. I'm taking green color, light green color, or otherwise I will select an orange or anything. And now we can format this chart. So I don't require any sum of the totals headings like this. So I will remove these field buttons. Here we have to click right click on the sum of totals and hide all field buttons on chart. We have to click. Then field buttons are disappeared. So from this dashboard, we can identify that our customers, like when I click this, so it will show us Aham Ventures Limited on 10th Feb 23. How much amount is? The value is 10,502 something, 1,05,000. Like this, we can do some visuals. So now I want to take an average of each customer. For that, we are moving to again query. So I will. It is like an interactive. When you press on these customers list, it's automatically changes in pivot table in query 1. So I will change this query 1 to a sales page for easy understanding. And if you select
Also, after you show it, maybe just for the same thing, can we just change the value of the sales in the tally data and show the number? Instead of like 70,000, we can just make it to 7,65,000 so that people get that, okay, how real-time intuitive it is. Tarun?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
because we can do so.
Yeah.
So
okay.
we'll go to tally data, sir. Here, how to on DA. So we made changes in Tally. So we are now going to refresh. So I will go to data tab and I will do refresh.
By the way, refresh can be done to one single query data. A refresh can be done to all the different set of data that exist. It can be done. So here, if you can see, the turnover for this are there in two different dates: 20th September, 31st March. One is say 70,000, another is 7,50,000. You can automatically now on a real-time basis see the data exists. So on the left side, you are seeing the list of customers. On the right side, you are seeing the various invoices that are there on different dates. When I just hover over it, when you can, I just go to on the bigger blue, the line, I just move the mouse, it will automatically show you that, okay, on 31st March, it is 7,50,000. So given that information now, it is kind of intuitive. So you will be able to give an insights at a real time to the management. While it will be difficult for management to see the same information go into Tally and looking at the various perspectives, this is a kind of a detailed thing that comes. So we have seen from raw, where is like Tarun has taken a plain Excel sheet and has just shown how to fetch the data and how to alter it. Now, all that you will do is just change the sheet name, sheet 3 to sales register. You can add, you can all do all the formatting presentation, which is one time. But the best part of it, you have noticed, is data is connected. It is in a connected environment. So owner of the entity doesn't need to have the Tally data with them. The owner of the entity needs to have this Excel. All that I can do is I can just give on top of it, I can just put a button called refresh. We just do refresh and the new data gets updated by itself. Yeah. So alongside of it, we can add, now we have seen the sales, likewise we can see purchases and other things. Now we can construct the another dashboard. I want to get the closing balance of my bills receivable. I want to get my closing balance of cash and bank balance. I want to get my closing balance of sundry debtors, sundry creditors. I just want some top numbers. So I can also create a simple dashboard. Maybe Tarun, you continue.
So this is our sales data. We can do averages. We can take pie charts, whatever maybe you want. So we can keep in a data labels here. For this, we can easily identify what is the sales of each date or each month, like this. So we can change color also, outline color. By selecting this, it will change outline. Go to fill and color. So I will select data bars like this. We can do whatever format we need. So now I'm going to take in a bills receivable. For that, we have written as one query, small query. So from bills receivable query. So again, I'm going to data tab and get data, and from other source and blank query. So query one is sales I will rename this one as sales here itself. And again, this is bills receivable. Now I'm going to rename here itself bills receivable. Bills receivables. And we are going to click on advanced editor. And it's a plain page. So we have to clear this one. And we have to paste it. Bills receivable enquiry. Then we have to click done. When we click on, here we can see the data which is coming from Tally. It's a bills receivable, nothing but sundry debtors. So I will do once refresh. So from 2019 to 21, 22, 23, some of the data which is present in Tally, it's coming. So I will do close and load. Load to. And here the options appear. So we have to click on only create connection. Sorry. Not only creation, it's a pivot table report. One second. So again, I'm going to get data and other source, blank query. Bills receivable. Bills receivable, advanced editor. Copy paste. Done. And close load to. Pivot report table. Pivot table report and new worksheet. And click OK. So separate tab is separate sheet is open. And this is the source data, which is coming from Tally. Okay. Now we are going to insert columns. One is party name. No need party name. We will take date in row column and months are no need. And again amount in values. So here is the okay. Now we have to click on this and go to insert. So we can find here charts, a line chart. I will take a line chart. So and click on OK. So this is how the data of bills receivable. And I will take in slices. and I need a party name and date and click OK. Same thing like sales. Now this is a bills receivables. When I click on this customer, there is no data in 2022. So totals.
You can take that Advani construction, that's what we just entered as sales, which is showing as option. The amount is showing the 7,50,000 I can see. Maybe the graph that you have selected could be something gone wrong, but on the left corner on the top, 7,50,000. Just select any other party, please. Yeah, you can see the amounts are changing, and on the left side it became 8,500. So that's how you can set it. Yeah.
So when we click on this, it shows quarter-wise March. This is the March data. It's showing quarter-wise and month-wise and year-wise. We can do format here also. And when we click on this, the slicer will be highlighted here, and we have to click here. And again, same thing. We have to change colors and same thing. Now I will take a pie chart. This is bills receivable dashboard sheet. I'll copy paste this one here, that visuals. You can do same thing with pie chart also. So I will select this one. For every visual, we have to create one more pie chart, pivot table. So I'm taking other new one pivot table. So here we will select customers and amount. So I'm going to remove date column, and I will insert an customers party name in rows. Clear party name. And I will select a pie chart. Here we can find a pie chart or 3D type pie chart or donut whatever you require, you can select this one. And I'm going to take a 2D pie chart. And it's look like this. I'll just copy this one and paste it in bills receivable dashboard. And paste it. Now this is an interactive visuals. When we click on these customer, it's automatically changes in. So when I click on this Airtel, so both visuals are changing interactively. This is called interactive dashboards.
And today is the era of infographics. So people want the numbers and the data should speak to itself. Like I'm sure most of you, when you buy a mobile phone, you don't want to use user manual. It should be self-intuitive and explanative. That's how the presentation should be from the finance professionals. Like what you are seeing now is everything is just created live. But like given if I spend a day, we can just make it into even more the presentable, which is like a one time. So you do that one time job and submit it to the management. It's all over there. And please note, this is not no way connected only to Tally. You can connect the backend to SAP, Oracle, or whatever is your ERP. It can be connected and it can be handled, including a cloud application and cloud connectors are possible.
Same thing, we can do format again, which we require. Data labels. We can take any color, green or something. And bills receivable dashboard, a simple dashboard we prepare. And if we have more time, we can do more visualized manner. So now I'm going to take TB, trial balance dashboard, and it looks like this. Other dashboards, so bank accounts, bills receivable, bills payable. So now I'm going to make these visuals, these dashboards. For this, I'm going to extract TB, trial balance data from Tally. For this, we wrote one query. So I'm going to show the query now. TB Control V. Here again, we have to select data tab, get data from other source, blank query. And again, advanced query editor. Paste it. And click OK. So here we can change dates from date and to date. And 22 April first date to date is 23 March 31. This data is coming from Tally again, and I will do refresh. It's refreshed, and I will close load to data. And again, we are going to take a pivot table report in new worksheet and click OK. I'll rename it as a TV. So that's from the column. I will take in a name in rows and net amount in values. Before that, we have to select TB and primary group. Here we can see that assets data, expenses data, and income liabilities. And I will select a new sheet and rename as another dashboards. I require bank accounts. So I will go to bank accounts. Where is bank accounts? Oh, this is the bank account. For these, we are going to make create one small visual. And I will select here a shape first. So we need to go insert tab and illustrations. And we are going to select a shape. Whatever you require, you can select that one. I'm going to take this shape and I will create like this. And we can adjust shapes and we can give whatever color we require. And I will take some blue accent color. And we have to give any name here. For that, again, we have to go insert text box, and I will select this one and I will rename as a bank accounts.
For the purpose of this example, let us just do only one or two so that one more so that they get after we can create the comprehensive dashboard.
Okay,
Well, they can do it themselves. They get an idea. Yeah.
I have created for bank accounts. So we need to again go to TB, and this is in pivot table format, and we have to convert this to text normal data. So I will select this one, copy, and as values I'm selecting. So there is no link between this pivot table and this data. Now I'm selecting bank account. bank accounts. It is in general format. I will change to number format, and data is okay. Now I will go to here. We have to click this visual, and we have to give is equal to, and then we move to TV and select bank accounts. So data is coming, and again we have to change the cell address. Now I have selected H25, and in pivot table it's B20, not B19. So here we have to select B19. So now we are getting bank accounts data. When we refresh or when we change company and again we refresh, then automatically it changes the data. And again I am going to take sundry debtors, sundry creditors or debtors. Sundry creditors. I will copy paste this visual and text box. And I will rename as sundry creditors. Again, we are going to change this cell address. So we are going to move sundry creditors. We have to select this one. On TB, sundry creditor, and enter. So amount is changed. And again, we have to change the cell address. And sundry creditors is B27. So here we are going to give B27. B27. So it's changing. When we do refresh, it will change like this automatically. No need to make any changes in these visuals. So I will create a last one visual.
Yeah, let's just do one last visual and complete.
Okay.
Very quickly.
I will take a sundry data. For this, I'll copy and paste this one again. And text box. I'm going to change this cell address. Click on this and change this cell address. And again, sundry data. I'll click this one and click OK. Now it's changed. And again, we have to change this cell address. Sundry data in here, B10. So again, we have to change this cell address. B10. So visual is changed. When we do refresh, it automatically changes. So 3 are completed. If you want more, we can do. And again, we are going to keep a company name, which is coming from Tally. And I will show you how to take company and how it will changes automatically. For this, again, we need to go data. For sales, I require a company name, and I will change this company name also.
So the advantage of this is if you have multiple entities, multiple tally data, all that you will do is you'll just in the backend tally, you just open another tally, you press refresh, the data of that respective data would come in.
For this, here we will extract a company name. For that, we need to go with data, get data from other source, from ODBC. And I will select Tally ODBC and advanced options. And I will write in a small query. Select name from company. And click OK.
And there are many attributes for the company. We just pick dollar name, we can take address and any various things. And just give OK. Just click on select that and load.
So this is the company name. Now we are moving to sales data. And here I will give cell reference address, which is selected from query 2. And I will give this. I'll click OK.
Yeah. And in one of the sessions, we have told how do you make the name referencing. You can actually make that as a cell reference. Tomorrow, when that name is changed, it is automatically gets changed. All that things happen automatically. Yeah. By and large, this is how you create your dashboards. You got a fair idea of how to connect it. I have already shared you with an Excel where a sample data has been given on the chat. You can download that and you can play with it, and you can come back whenever you have doubts. Anything else, Tarun?
Nothing, sir.
All right. Yeah. Continue.
Sir, finish it, sir.
Yeah. Good. So this is how one have to create dashboards, and whatever which has been shown is like we have just done a raw everything fresh in front of you. Once you create your dashboards, you can set it up. So for the purpose of management, you can always ensure the data is ready. Whatever the management report that you need to send, you can just keep it ready. Just click a button, refresh, and just do one email of that, or make the sheet available on the cloud. They would be able to see it on a real-time basis. This is how you will be bettering yourself. In fact, you will be appreciated for these kind of improvements that you are doing. Your presence would be valued and felt. And as I said in the beginning, we should always strive to be technologically updated. Otherwise, we become outdated. Today is the era of technology. All out there, really the AI and ML tools are out there. And if we don't become smarter, then tools will eat away. Does AI ML replace our jobs? 100%. It replaces only those who is not willing to upgrade themselves, who is not willing to learn and adopt them. If you are not adopting them, then we are replaced. Right? This is what I would like to share on the closing note. And copy of this presentation, today's presentation would be shared to all of you. In case if you have any questions, feel free to reach us. If you also have another request of having some more session, you can ask us in the feedback form. We will to all the registered participants in your email, you will be getting a feedback link. Once you click on that feedback link, you will get an access of the presentation material of today. You can download it and watch it. You will also get a copy of a recording. So if some portion you are stuck, you can go back and watch the recording. And most importantly, please let us know how the session went for you so that we can constantly update ourselves and present it better. And if you want a specific session to be handled, do let us know so that we include that in the upcoming sessions of ours, right? So we are bang on time. It's 5:26. If there be no questions, we can conclude for the day. I'm here for some more time. All right. So since there are no questions, I think we can end up the session for today. Thank you, everyone. And special thanks to Jagdish and Tarun for putting up such a beautiful presentation. Thank you, both of you.